Hello, everyone. What's going on, football fans? I'm Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy, along with Danny Boy Reginald.
Hey, what's up?
And welcome to another exciting edition of Thursday Night Gridiron.
Hell yeah, man.
Brought to you by the Sports Insanity Network.
Yeah, man. Log on sportsinsanitynetwork.com for more information. Thursday, week number 6.
You believe we're here already? We're at week 6?
Yeah, man. Look, the year always goes by pretty quick. But yet there's so much to do. There's so many games to go. So it's like, it's wild. But yeah, no, week 6, nice, wild.
Before you know it, we're gonna be at the midway point.
Oh God. Don't get me started with that.
And then before you know it, it's gonna be over and we're gonna be sad.
Yeah.
But anyway, week 6, and we got a good old-fashioned AFC West rival on our hands tonight, don't we?
Yeah, we do, man. Yeah, we do.
We got the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos. This is going to be exciting, isn't it?
I mean, very exciting. I guess I'm more excited about the idea of a division rival as big as the Broncos and the Chiefs, even though the two teams are on completely opposite ends of the spectrum. It's absolutely insane. But it's always good to have a good old-fashioned rivalry, and one that for the longest time has been completely one-sided, and it hasn't even been close. So a lot of things that Denver needs to correct, and they're in a massive hole right now. And of course, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, who are just continuing to roll every single week.
Yes, the Chiefs, they just roll every week as the defending champs they are. As we are also in the Taylor Swift era of the Kansas City Chiefs. I know you guys are tired of the Swift jokes already, but
it's all good, man. We get it. Look, the Swifties are happy, and Taylor Swift's happy, Travis Kelce's happy. As long as everyone's on that end is happy, then it is what it is. Now, will I like to see them be happy? Not necessarily. I don't care about the Chiefs. I love Taylor Swift, but not when it comes to football. She needs to stay in her lane.
Yeah, but Reg, don't put any bad blood between them.
Yeah,
just shake it off.
Yeah, I know. What a disgrace.
Okay. No, I'm not going to do any more puns. I promise. That's Mike's job.
Yeah, we'll see how it is midway through this program.
Watch, there's going to probably be more puns coming. Okay. So anyway, speaking of the Chiefs, let's talk about the defending champs. They are coming off a win last week against the Minnesota Vikings.
Good win, too.
By a score of 27-20. Completions. Pat Mahomes, the reigning Super Bowl and league MVP, Pat Mahomes, 31 completions for 41 attempts, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, was sacked twice. And in the rushing, Isaiah Pacheco, 16 carries, ding, 55 yards, 3.4 average, 1 touchdown. Travis Kelce, 10 receptions, 67 yards, 6.7 average, 1 touchdown. Rashee Rice, 4 receptions, 33 yards, 8.3 average, and 1 touchdown. So, pretty solid win by the Kansas City Chiefs, won't you say?
Yeah, and it's a solid win. I mean, the Vikings are no gimme. I know the Vikings record doesn't necessarily show it, but that's a team that's not easy to beat. I give them a lot of props and stuff. Shame that they they can't buy a win right now, and of course, the
I feel bad for Kirk Cousins.
yeah, I do too. Time is slipping so quickly, but you know what? I think that the Chiefs have done a great job at one being poised, two not letting any disaster get to them. Like that if the Jets had won the game a couple weeks ago, that probably would have put a damper on in somewhat of the season, and probably not too much of a damper, but enough where it's like, oh wow, I mean, maybe we're not as good as we think we are, because we lost to Zach Wilson, but obviously that's not the case. They're 4-1. They're in a good spot. Obviously, they're in the top of their division, and look, the Chiefs, no matter what the team looks like, no matter who is their offensive coordinator, no matter who's at wide receiver, who's in tight end, who's at running back, they always find ways to do it. And credit goes to Andy Reid, who continues to, and we've always known he was the real offensive guru. Not saying that Eric Bieniemy wasn't a part of this offense. No, he was very much.
Oh, he was.
Like he's a good coach, and he's earned his stripes in Washington. But Andy Reid is the true mastermind of this offense. So it's not surprising that the Chiefs continue to win. And then, of course, you have Patrick Mahomes, who has earned every single penny of that contract, that massive contract that we once thought might be a little too much, hasn't really proven much. Now he's won another Super Bowl, and he's continuing to dominate in this league. So earned every penny of that contract. And those two alone have made the Chiefs what they are today. And they
Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Yes, and they continue to just absolutely be a major force in the AFC. And I hate to say it, but if this continues, they may run the whole conference again, which as a Jet fan, it's kind of annoying. But look, everyone's beatable, but right now the Chiefs, man, it's gonna be really tough.
Hello, Reg, you there? Okay. I think Reg is having a bit of a technical difficulty right now. Yeah, I think the Chiefs are looking really sharp as of this moment. And, Pat Mahomes, Pat Mahomes has been sharp-ish. And that's going to go into the next thing. Everything okay there?
Yeah, just a little technical difficulty on my end.
All right, so what were you saying?
I finished my point.
Okay.
You get the point. Like it's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Reg, I get the point. Mike Rifkin would be very disappointed.
So Bill.
Yes.
Now we get to the big elephant in the room for the Chiefs. There's not really an elephant in the room for them. It's more of an elephant for the Broncos. There's a 15-game streak here for both teams. One is a losing streak, one's a winning streak, and it's between these two. And you can probably tell who has the winning streak and who has the losing streak. And it's not pretty.
It's KC.
Yeah. Now, Kansas City, to me, has been like I said before, they're the class of the NFL, absolutely the best in the AFC right now. And again, they just continue to find ways to get it done. What's been the most impressive thing about the Chiefs that you've seen so far?
I think the most impressive thing about the Chiefs right now is, you could say Pat Mahomes, you could say Travis Kelce, but I think a factor that is very overlooked is Isaiah Pacheco.
Hey, man, 100% agree.
I think his running game has been absolutely solid, and I think he's been helping one of my fantasy teams too. So thank you, Isaiah. I'll send you a nice fruit basket. Um, yeah, Isaiah Pacheco, I think his running game has just been really good. It's been really solid. So I think that's another thing I've been really impressed about, and I think that's something that's overlooked. What do you think, Reg?
Well, I think the addition, because we saw in week one how much they struggled without Travis Kelce and without Chris Jones. I think the thing that impresses me the most is the Kansas City defense and how it's pretty much anchored by Jones, by how he can get it to the quarterback, how he could pressure and tackle and sack. Like, this guy is just all over the field, unbelievable player. And then, of course, with Kelce, how much of a chemistry that he has. And I know it's been kind of off because of the Taylor Swift nonsense going on. But you can tell that the chemistry between Mahomes and Kelce is still there. And they're stuck like glue, basically.
I can agree with you on that with Travis Kelce.
Yeah, but I definitely see your point on Pacheco. He has been a major factor as well. I just think those two players have also been, it's what I've been most impressed by. But of course, nothing's more impressive than watching Mahomes on a nightly basis. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah. Speaking of Mahomes, do you think he's playing up to MVP caliber so far?
He always plays up to MVP caliber. And the reason is because he throws touchdowns. He reads defenses like it's no one's business. And he constantly puts up, and I know he hasn't of late, but the amount of times that this guy could put up 30 points like nothing. Like, yeah, no, he's definitely an MVP caliber player. Look, he already has over 1,000 yards passing and stuff. Like, this dude, and he's well on his way to like another big time season. If he, touchdown wise, passing yards wise, and just watching him, how smart he is too. Like you said, he can read the field. Yeah, he's always an MVP. And if you take him away, the Chiefs are instantly worse. That's
I don't disagree.
That's the feeling there with Kansas City.
I agree. I think he started off the season a little sluggish. But I know he's not having a Super Bowl hangover. I will tell you that right now. I think he's doing good. His stats so far are 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Mm.
Last year, his MVP stats were 5,250 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's hanging together so far, and I think he's going to get it going like now. Because this is Pat Mahomes, the arguably best quarterback in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, if you can find a way to come up with any team basically can find ways to come up with a good game plan and beat Mahomes, I'll be very impressed, because this team, no matter how much they lose, they always find ways to make themselves better. I don't know, it's crazy.
So, good question. Excuse me, folks. How has Kansas City stayed successful after losing their top OC, Eric Bieniemy, and getting rid of big-time players like Tyreek Hill?
Well, it's like I said before. They did it because they already have a big-time offensive coach in Andy Reid. Like again, like I said, he's the true mastermind. So it's his playbook. So you take that and you combine that with the strong KC defense, and that defense has been incredibly lethal. And then, of course, that Mahomes, Kelsey, all that together is the reason why they can lose an Eric Bieniemy, a good coach in Eric Bieniemy, someone who could certainly keep things together and still be successful. Why they could trade a Tyreek Hill, but then find another receiver to replace him like nothing because you have a quarterback that can make anyone look good. So yeah, it's a combination of things, but those are that's the main core. That's the main reasons as to why the Chiefs continue to be successful. And like I said, they have a great foundation. The front office knows what they're doing. They know how to build a team. Mahomes knows what he wants out of his team. And look, they're in sync.
Oh, they are. That team is in sync. And no, we're not talking about the boy band.
You're blowing it, bro.
This is why I'm never going to be doing stand-up comedy.
You're blowing it. I can see that you're actually trying, and I appreciate that but no.
You know what? I'm just not gonna make more podcasts.
Good effort though. Okay, good.
I can hear Mike Rifkin screaming at me on the phone right now.
I know.
But anyway. Okay, I'm supposed to be hosting a football show, not bombing at stand-up comedy. Anyway. But no, I think all the points I just mentioned, like Pacheco and what you said about Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes, I think that's what's making this team, even without Tyreek Hill, even without Eric Bieniemy as OC.
Yeah.
So next, do you think there's any competition in the AFC West for the Chiefs, or are they running away with it?
I think the best, if you want to really define some type of competition, I think in the West it has to be the Chargers, even though, let's be real, the Chargers, they're not that great of a football team. I think they've just gotten lucky getting 2 wins in 4 weeks and all that stuff. But yeah, no, look, I think the Chiefs are too dangerous for all those AFC West teams to a point where, there's just no way that anyone's gonna catch up to them. So I don't really see much of a competition, really. Like
I'm going to agree with you because the Chargers, their record is better than what they are.
I think they overachieved a little bit. Part of it is the league. You got some weak NFC teams, certainly got some weaker AFC teams that we didn't expect. But yeah, no, I think right now Kansas City's obviously the dominant team in that division, and it's not a question about it. So they're well on the way to winning another division title.
Yeah, I think they're running away with the AFC West.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to ask you a broader question here, Reg. What do you think their biggest competition is in the AFC in general?
In AFC in general. I think the Dolphins.
I'm going to agree with you on that one.
The Dolphins, to me, they have another offense that's just absolutely unbelievable. And
Tua has been unbelievable.
Yeah, I've given the coach Mike McDaniel a lot of crap, but that's just because of jealousy. I'm just being real. I'm just jealous that the Dolphins are actually a damn good team and stuff. No, the Dolphins, in my opinion, though the Dolphins scare me sometimes. Because when they run into good defense, it's like the Buffalo Bills, they get absolutely murdered. So, but I think that's their best competition because of the fact that you have Tua, who is just absolutely unbelievable. And
I agree.
look at the receiving core around him. They make him so much better. And it's an offense that works with him. So yeah, I definitely think the Dolphins are the most in terms of competition wise, the biggest threat to the Chiefs.
Yeah, watching them last week against my Giants, but then again, the Giants suck so bad they make any team look like freaking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm not in a good state right now with this team.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, I've been. But anyway, we're not here to discuss that. That will be discussed on SIP.
Are you sure? Because we can.
Oh well, we're kind of pressed for time right now, and
Yeah, sure. Why not?
oh god, do I have?
You go. I'm just kidding.
I was about to put the bag on. It's right there, but
I mean, let's save the bag thing for when they're really bad. Because right now, I think it's bad enough that the Giants on national television look like absolute freaks with the face painting and the dumbass jerseys on. It's so.
and they're gonna be on national TV Sunday night.
Oh my god!
Do we really want the good people to see this?
And they are refusing to do any flexing whatsoever, and I think it's an absolute masterpiece that they're not flexing this game.
Wait, they can flex this week, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but I think it's got to be like 12 days notice, or that's for later.
Yeah, that's probably why, because they don't want to give a last minute.
Please, NBC, you guys should have flexed this game because I don't think the good people deserve this.
Too late. There's people were calling on the Jets and Chiefs to be flexed, and guess what? The Jets, kind of put up a good performance. So you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
Anyway, getting back on topic here. What do you think is the X factor, both offense and defense?
Offense is Mahomes. He's the guy that leads them to victory. Defense, it's the whole defensive line. That's a scary defensive line they got in Kansas City. And like I said, they're anchored by Chris Jones, who's been absolutely stellar. He's a special player. So when I look at Kansas City, big factor, big X factor, defensive line. And then, of course, offense. Anything that doesn't go Mahomes' way, it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah. My X factor for offense is, I've mentioned his name already a few times, Isaiah Pacheco. I think he's going to be a big X factor tonight when it comes to, because Denver has a terrible run defense. So I think Pacheco's really going to take advantage of that. Is really going to be the one to take advantage of that horrible run defense. And for the defense, I think it's going to be the pass rush because they have a blitz rate of 40%. Mm-hmm. And the Broncos offense is tied for 21st for most sacks with 15. So I think tonight the Chiefs defense has to get to Russell Wilson. Those are my X factors. And now it's time to flip this over to the Denver Broncos, who last week, they're coming off a loss against Danny Boy Reg's beloved New York Jets, losing 31-21. And I'm just going to say it here, folks. The moment that last interception came off, I heard Reggie screaming all the way from Virginia. I heard it. I know he was in a good mood. And
the thing is that was a very sloppy game. It was sloppy. Good win though by the Jets. I can't.
You got lucky.
No. I think it's not about luck. That was just a good performance by the Jets. Defense, offense they have a lot of work to do. The whole Zach Wilson best game hangover, that clearly was a big thing. But here's what I will say about Zach Wilson. He made some big boy throws on Sunday.
I can agree with you on that.
He made some big boy throws, and people get on him because of that interception. Interceptions happen. Okay, you have good cornerbacks in this league. As long as you put it right on target, right where it's supposed to be, and it was. Look, what if the ball gets taken away, the ball gets taken away. So I wouldn't necessarily discourage Zach Wilson on that. But the dude made some big time throws, and I'm telling you, man, the more I watch Zach Wilson play football, especially in the last couple of weeks, the more confident I get with it. And I know that the Jets probably won't beat the Eagles this weekend, but man, I am more confident in winning this game than I was a couple of weeks ago when Zach Wilson, couldn't move the offense. So yeah, it's a complete 180 these last couple of weeks. I'm very happy to see that. In terms of the Broncos, and like I said, the Jet defense, they came up big late when it mattered, and I think that's what burned the Broncos a lot. They couldn't get the offense moving, and ultimately, it falls on the head coach. Look, Sean Payton, I was very excited for him. He was getting another opportunity. I thought it was the right hire at the time. And, of course, it could very well be the right hire in the future. Excuse me. As I got a little hair stuck in my tongue, which is kind of disgusting.
Thank you for sharing.
Hey, look, I'm an open book, man. But no, look, do I think Sean Payton is the right hire? Right now, I still think he is. It may not seem that way, but his coaching has been atrocious. And you can say he's the right guy for the job and still say, you know what, right now, he's just not having a good year coaching. And it's okay. It's okay to criticize him because the Broncos right now do not look like a team that belongs on the same field against any team. And they got lucky, in my opinion, against Bears. That the Bears, who are also really bad, found a way to lose the game that they did. But like I said, the Jets came up big. The Jet defense was the biggest blow to the Broncos, because if the Jet defense was not even remotely close to good, they would have won that game.
Well, like, here's the thing. You brought up Sean Payton. I think we might as well just bring up this point now.
Yeah.
Should Sean Payton be on the hot seat?
It's not about him being on the hot seat. It's about what changes is this dude going to make to make this team better.
Listen, I'll be honest. I wouldn't put on the hot seat just yet because I'm not really I kind of take it easy on coaches in their first year. This is not his first year as head coaching, but in a new position. You get what I'm saying?
The biggest thing they have to address is the team. And they have some really solid players on that team, but then a lot of the team is also really bad. And right now, there's just no confidence coming out of anyone in that locker room. So I think you need to put in a few playmakers that can build the team's confidence a little bit so that they can go out and compete. And right now, they just don't have that. It's sloppy football. You have fumbles on special teams, fumbles on offense. Again, your defense did fine, but and look, the offense was also okay. It wasn't terrible against the Jets, but they couldn't make the big play. And for a while it seemed like the Broncos had the Jets pinned with their offense, and they, Jets with their second half dominance, it just wasn't that way.
Well, here's my thing though with Sean Payton. Okay, usually when coaches are in a first year to position as head coach of a new team, I usually do cut them some slack.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Yeah.
I always say if your team has a new head coach, don't be expecting to be hoisting the Lombardi trophy. But
yeah, go ahead.
Unless they're like Urban Meyer level bad, then I don't I kind of do take it easy on them. And Sean Payton, I don't think he's gonna be on the hot seat, but my only problem with him is the man needs to learn to keep his mouth shut.
In what sense, though?
When he was saying when he made that the coach before here, he was the worst coach ever.
The Hackett comments. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're 1-4. Don't be sitting here beating your chest right now.
Well, for one thing, it was during the off season, and I'm sure he has learned his lesson. Hey, look, don't talk
and
about.
And Nathaniel Hackett technically beat you last week.
And don't obviously don't make comments about other people's coaching jobs. It's stupid. That was dumb. And again, I think he learned that. But that was during the off season. Anything could have happened on Sunday. The Broncos could be the Jets and wouldn't have mattered. So,
but that, and I think he took shots at Russell Wilson, I want to say.
Well, I don't think he's taking shots at Wilson. He's just, I think a lot of the performance by Russ, and we'll get to Russ right now since we're transitioning to him.
Perfect transition.
I think the problem with Russ is that I think he's starting to wind down in his career. You can tell.
Yes.
There's a part of him that probably doesn't want to be there anymore. And I'm not saying that he can't play quarterback. He can still make throws. That was proven last week. That he could still make big time throws. That he could.
Because I'll even say this, Reg. Even though they lost, I think Russell Wilson had a better game than Zach Wilson.
Russell Wilson wasn't the problem last weekend. He wasn't the big problem. I just think the Jet defense came out alive and absolutely swarmed them. And the Broncos offense just had no answer. But I'm thinking that his ability to be a top quarterback in this league is gone.
I agree.
It's just he's not the same player, and it's okay. For some players, it comes very quickly. For us, it just it came 10, 11 years into his career. He's just not the same. Some players take a long time. Some players play 18, 20 years before they're like, yeah, I'm washed up. Sometimes it just is what it is. It doesn't mean that Russ isn't one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. It doesn't mean that he isn't a good player right now. It just means that he is not what he once was. And it's okay to say that. And if I'm the Broncos, you have to make an adjustment to the game to suit his current ability. And right now, they just have not done that. I also call on the Broncos, hey, look, maybe if you want to give a quarterback another quarterback a shot, just to see where things are. You always want to weigh your options. And I feel like Sean Payton, if we go back to Payton for a second, he has the leverage here. He's the coach. He could bench the guy. He came in and inherited Russell Wilson. So if Sean Payton wants to, he could literally just say, hey, man, sit on the bench for a little bit. We'll have someone else play. It's a lost season anyway. They're 1-4. It can't be worse.
Because at this point, and it's like with the Broncos, you basically gave away the farm for this guy. All the draft picks you gave away from him. And this has probably got to be one of their biggest mistakes. And I love Russell Wilson. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great quarterback. But Like, we see sparks of the old Russell Wilson. We see sparks of him, but I hate to say it. And Reg, I really hate to say it. I think Russell Wilson's just all washed up.
And again, it doesn't mean that he isn't one of the greats. It just means that right now he's just not it, and it's okay to say that. We can normalize players playing beyond their ability. Then I think he just doesn't have it anymore.
I can absolutely agree with you on that. I think he just looks like a shell of himself. Like, we see sparks of him, of old Russell Wilson, but in overall, he's kind of washed up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, are his best days behind him? I'm starting to think, yeah. And I think whenever this contract is done with Russell Wilson, I think he needs to contemplate retirement.
I'm not saying retirement. There are players that have been starting quarterbacks that also become backups. Why if Russell Wilson can still play, he may not be a big time starter anymore, but he can certainly be a backup. That. I think it's a little ridiculous just to be like retire. Like, no, I'm not calling on him to retire. I'm calling on him to just say, look, I'm no longer capable of being a starting quarterback in this league.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, next. Do you think the Broncos are better or worse than what their record is?
I think the Broncos, the way they're set up, based on how they played, I think they are as is.
And that's fair. Because, like I said, we just talked about Russell Wilson. Their offense is nah.
Now, I didn't expect them to be 1-4. Expected at least a couple wins at this point. But it doesn't surprise me that they're 1-4. They were bad last year with pretty much the same team. Maybe a couple different players, if you want to compare. But yeah, no, team really hasn't changed much.
It really hasn't.
So they're as is.
So what do you think their X factor is, both offense and defense?
Defensively, it's a good question. I think if the secondary because secondary is pretty damn good. You have Patrick Surtain, who made that incredible interception of Zach Wilson last week. If you can get the secondary going, because you know that the Chiefs are going to be passing a lot. If you can get the secondary going and make the Chiefs run it, and then you can build up your game plan to stop the run. I think the Broncos defense isn't in it entirely, but specifically the secondary, because you can stop any big time receiver from catching anything and force Mahomes to do everything on his own. I think they may have some type of advantage. And Mahomes, you don't want, if Mahomes starts to go all nutty about trying to make things happen on his own, sometimes he can make a mistake here and there that could be costly. So just putting it out, putting that out there. I think on offense, however, I think, to me, they had a good receiving game against the Jets. So I think if Wilson can get the receiving game going, because he can still pass the ball. So if he can get the receiving game going, they may have and then of course combine that with with their defensive game plan. Let's see. I choose that.
Okay, for my offense, I'm going to say it's Lavatis Murray. He's had 3 rushing touchdowns in 7 games. I think we can see a spark from him tonight. X factor, I'm going to say it's the pass defense because last week they held Zach Wilson to under 200 yards. So that's what I think the X factors are. Right, guess what time it is?
Time is it.
It's time for rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Let's go.
Rapid fire. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, and here we go. Who is the most overrated team, the Eagles or the Cowboys?
Cowboys.
I'm going to agree with you because last week was their prove-it game, and look what happened.
Yeah, they got absolutely stomped. And to be fair, the 49ers are the team to beat, and that proved it right there in that game, that they're the team to beat in the NFC. But yeah, no, the Cowboys, I hear so much about their defense, but yet their offense is not that good. And
yeah, Dak's having a mediocre year at best.
And I think that's what brings them down a lot is that offense. It is absolutely atrocious. You lose to the Cardinals, who are bad, and then now you lose to the Niners, who are really good. And they keep getting exposed. They really are getting exposed badly. So
okay.
All over the defense, it came to stop the 49ers.
We'll probably get into this more on SIP, but is the end near for Bill Belichick in New England with Mac Jones at still Pats at QB1?
Why he's not making a change at quarterback is stupid. But Bill Belichick, I don't think he's near the end. I just think he's in over his head. And I think he's trying so hard to prove everyone that the Pats made the right decision on Mac Jones, and it keeps backfiring on him. Like every coach, and you look, Bill Belichick, it's an ego thing with him. He had one quarterback for 20 years and stuck with him, and now he's trying to prove that maybe the quarterback wasn't that the quarterback wasn't just a quarterback, it was more than that. But sometimes you have to just swallow it and just be like, look, this is not working, and you need to bench the guy that is making your team look worse. Mac Jones, ever since year 1, has regressed as a quarterback. There is no question about it. He is not the same passer. Clearly, he doesn't know how to move an offense. They have better players around him. So I don't get it, dude.
Listen, like we could probably have an interesting conversation on this on SIP, but I think Bill Belichick's time in New England, I don't want to say it's coming to an end, but I'm just going to say I think Mr. Kraft and Mr. Belichick are going to be having a conversation by the end of this year.
Yeah.
And Mac Jones, I agree with you. Why the hell are you starting this guy?
Gosh,
trash.
It really makes me upset watching the Patriots lose game after game after game.
No, it doesn't. You're doing backflips.
You don't understand. First of all, you gotta let me finish my point. Because the Jets could have beaten this team.
Okay.
That's my point. That's my point. Is that the Jets could have beaten this team. Because this Patriots team stinks. And the defense held their own. The Jet defense held their own against the Patriots. The Patriots didn't score much. They only scored like 10 points against the Jet defense. But they still couldn't freaking win. And I blame it on the coaching that they could not get a win. It's a shame. Shame. But we'll get them next time. But I mean, look, to your point, Bill. Yeah, no, it's very satisfying watching the Patriots lose. But it's not as satisfying until the Jets absolutely raid them, and I mean slaughter them. I want Bill Belichick to feel it.
All right. Is it time for Tyrod Taylor in New York City?
What do you think?
I'm going to say yes. I think he might, because Daniel Jones, they don't know how he's going to be this week. They said he might sit out, so I think the season is basically lost at this point. Might as well just let the world burn and give it to Tyrod Taylor.
Now, I disagree with you in the sense that the season is lost. I think there's still a way for the Giants if they can get it going. But the only way to get it going is to have Tyrod Taylor be the starter. Even if Jones is good enough to play, I don't trust him. I think he's way overrated. And look, the bottom line is he stinks. And I hate to say it because I'm sure he's a nice guy and I know he wants to do right, but the man just can't play quarterback in this league. He's terrible. If no one else is gonna say it, I will. Daniel Jones is bad. He's a bad quarterback. And for people who continue to defend him, be like, no, the issue is the offensive line, and all the players. No. The issue is the offensive line and Daniel Jones. It's okay for both to be the correct thing. So I think Tyrod, the man, for whatever reason, does not ever get a chance to play. And I know he's been a starter in this league before, but for whatever the hell reason, he just doesn't get a chance to play. This is his time. And I think that the Giants make that switch. I don't know if it will save their season, but it sure as hell will put a competent quarterback under center.
Okay. Last question. Which is better, grass or turf?
Grass.
Agreed.
Now, I know NFL players are begging for grass surfaces, and rightfully so. It's a natural surface. People, there's a lot of resistance with grass. It feels better. Turf is just easier to manage. I hate to side with the NFL, the owners, and all those stadium personnel. But yeah, no, turf is so much easier because if it. There's no treating the field if it rains or having to do all this maintenance. Like if you have grass, you got to do all maintenance and stuff. And it's just more work. So look, obviously turf can be dangerous, but let's be real. There's been turf for so long in this league, and yet players right now are just starting to complain about it. So I don't think it's that big a deal. I know they're going to put grass surfaces for the World Cup in those stadiums, but I have not heard a complaint until these babies started complaining. And let's be real, they're babies.
Okay, and final, what is your prediction for tonight?
I think it's the Chiefs by at least 3 touchdowns.
I'm going to agree. Chiefs by 3 touchdowns. Okay, and that is it for this week. We hope you enjoyed. Reg, if the good people want to see more of us, where do they go?
www.thesportsanitynetwork.com. Please visit. If you're watching on the tube, subscribe and like all of our videos. Watch all of our content. Thank you for supporting us as always. Follow our socials. We're on X at SInsanityReal. And then at SInsanityReal as well on the Facebook. And I'm Danny Boy Reginald.
I am Bill Corbis Crispy Murphy. We hope you enjoyed this. Stay safe and take care and enjoy the game.
Let's go Jets. And you better be rooting for the Jets.
On Sunday, yes. But I have a condition for you. You better be rooting for the Giants. We're playing one of your AFC East teams.
Yeah, that's right, baby. And
yeah, it's like Giant fans are going to be rooting for the Jets on Sunday, and Jet fans are going to be rooting for the Giants. So,
I mean, look, I'm just saying, Bill. I'm just saying, can Tyrod Taylor be the starter so he can stick it up the you-know-whats to the Buffalo Bills? Can he do that?
We'll have to wait and see. So, okay, guys, we'll see you next week. And don't forget to watch Sunday Sideline Report and the Sunday Night Show.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.